today for a permanency review after final order, and the court will recognize that the department is present, represented today by Mr. Drake McKeska and joined by Mr. Leonardo Esquivel with Belong. We also have with us Miss Alana Pearsall. She is Lisa's attorney and guardian ad litem. And we have Miss Louisa Franklin and Miss Connie Lopez here with CASA of South Texas. It is nice to see you all. Thank you for being here. Let me go ahead and swear in Mr. Esquivel, Miss Franklin. Can I get you to unmute yourselves and raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
I do.
Thank you so much. All right. I will just ask directly, Mr. Esquivel, how is Lisa doing at this time?
She's doing very well in the home. Every time I visit with her, she is always well dressed. She is clean hygiene. She always has her braids on her hair. She's always well combed. She seems happy. She always plays with me. When I visit with her in the daycare, she plays kitchen. So she tries to cook for me, make cookies, she's able to count 1 to 10, and she's able to tell the ABCs as well on what she can remember of the ABCs. But she appears to be a happy child. There is no concerns of the placement. One time I visited with her in the morning, early in the morning, where before she went to daycare in the home. And basically she gets along well with there's another child in the home. And I was able to see Lisa, how she tries to show the ropes to the other child that's in the home. Basically, you cannot do this, you can do this, just to show what she's able to do and not to do in the home. And she was happy as well in the home. She appears to be happy. And I just believe she's just a happy child where she's at right now.
Okay, well, thank you. Mr. Esquivel, are you recommending continuation of that placement?
Yes, correct.
All right. And at this point, I know that there is an appeal pending in this matter, and that we can't move forward with adoption until that matter is resolved. But are you at least doing everything in your power to do what you can to ensure the case is ready for adoption in the event that the decision is affirmed and Lisa is available for adoption, so that there's not additional waiting after that result is ultimately received?
Yes, correct. And I mean, the home is already licensed to adopt, so we're just waiting for that to clear out, and hopefully it's anytime soon.
All right. Have you already done a redaction of the court of the file, or have you started that process?
Not at this time, because I've been having, there's an issue in the system, specifically with this case. IT is currently working on this stage of the case. For some reason, I cannot do things that I have to do. Basically, I was not able to close the FSU stage, and right now IT is working on it. But it's been for a couple of weeks that they're not able to see what's causing for the system to be popping up errors.
All right. So if the court were to order the redacted file be produced and completed within an amount of time, that would give IT a little bit of an incentive to make it a priority as well.
Yes,
so that you could start that process. All right.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. McKeska, any additional questions for Mr. Esquivel?
No, Judge.
Ms. Pearsall?
So has the HACCP not been done any work on either for the same reason?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So would a court order help with that as well?
Yes, correct. Belong Belong IT was initially working on this issue, but then it has been transferred to DFPS IT as well. So they're both working on it and see what's going on.
No other questions, Judge.
All right. Well then, Ms. Pearsall, do you have anything to add?
Judge, Lisa's doing really well. She's at home. They've had a few recent changes with other kids in the home. And so I'm assuming that's what Mr. Esquivel observed, because she's now the oldest kid there, not age-wise, but how long she's been there wise. They've always had girls only. I didn't even know this foster mom did boys, and she now has 2 boys. So that sort of changed, kind of a little bit how this house functions. And I think Lisa's kind of developed a little bit of my number 2 personality. She kind of, I think enjoys, being able to kind of say, no, this is how we do this. I did have a concern. This foster mom has actually fostered for years, never had any interest in adopting. But with Lisa, she really, really wanted to adopt. And she talks about it openly about how she's never felt that way about any other kid in her home. So I think she's kind of frustrated with the appeal. And she said, well, if God doesn't want me to adopt, then I'm just not going to. And so I had a long conversation. We started going, this is not what this means. And, it's just a delayed process. But you actually having doubts. So she assured me she isn't. She does still want to adopt, but that was slightly concerning to me that she was kind of, pulling back. But it sounded like it was just sort of to protect her own heart, maybe more than a change of, anything else. But, Lisa's doing well. It's her home, and foster mom is a teacher. So, these kids are always like coloring, practicing letters, or they're just sort of by definition, she doesn't know how not to do an educational activity. So she's very well, taken care of, and it's a really good home.
That's good. That's good to hear. And the appeal is moving forward. I mean, I know that Miss Gaddis, bless her heart, had a significant challenge getting that record done, but it's my understanding that it is done, it has been submitted, and that it is underway. And so at least I know that the appeal process takes a while, but it is my hope that it can be resolved expeditiously. So you're being copied on all of that, Ms. Pearsall, correct?
Correct, Your Honor. So Ms. Gaddis did everything. The clerk submitted the record. Mom's appellate attorney has asked for a couple extensions, so we're waiting for that. And I can tell the court, well, yes, I'm like, if I can look it up. So right now, his brief is due on February the 15th. And I believe off the top of my head, that's extension number 1, it may be 2. So I don't know that it'll be filed that day, but that's where we're at right now. So we're still at the very beginning stages.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Pearsall. And Ms. Franklin, what would you like to add at this time?
Just that I am in agreement with Ms. Pearsall and Mr. Esquivel. She's doing extremely well. And what Ms. Pearsall said about the foster mother being a little frustrated at this point in time is very true. And I think it has a lot to do with how attached she is to Lisa. She feels like Lisa is her child. She has told me on more than one occasion that she has kept the clothes that Lisa was delivered to her in as a reminder to her of the child and how she came to her, which that kind of touched my heart, because this woman has worked so hard with Lisa. And Ms. Pearsall is right. She is a teacher at heart. And I feel like the majority of Lisa's progress that we have seen is due to the persistence of the foster mom. Yes, she has been in daycare, this is true, but that foster mom has worked with her and is so proud of her. I mean, she is so proud of all the progress that Lisa has made. So I couldn't be happier with her placement, and I hope the appeal moves through the system expeditiously and we can move on to adoption.
Well, thank you, Ms. Franklin. And thank you all. Based on the testimony the court has heard today, the court is going to continue Lisa's current placement, find that continuation of that placement is absolutely in her best interest, that all of her physical, emotional, and developmental needs are being met there presently. The court does find that the department, as the managing conservator, is making reasonable efforts to achieve permanency for Lisa through the goal of adoption. I know that there have been some IT issues, but I don't want that to prevent the case. If we're already experiencing delays because of the appeal, I don't want additional delays piled on, especially if it's making the current prospective adoptive parent nervous about the entire process. We need to show her and demonstrate to her that everything's being done to ensure that if Lisa is available for adoption, that the moment that she is, that we're ready to move forward. So I am ordering the department through Belong to complete a redacted file, get the file redacted for her review, and to begin the process to submit for the HESIG and get that completed. And I believe that getting it done in a month's time is really appropriate. I think that that is something that can be achieved. So I'm ordering that. I'd like that included and incorporated in the order. And we'll be back for our next review hearing on July the 10th at 9:30. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Is there anything else?
Because I'm doing this placement hearing, but just so the court is aware, since our trial, Lisa's father, terminated father, has died.
Oh my goodness, I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't think any of us knew that until very recently. So I just kind of wanted to give you that update. He apparently ended up back in the hospital with an ulcer. I don't know how accurate that information is.
Mr. Esquivel?
Yes, I was able to talk to Nora, which is the director of the Housing Authority there in Cotula, and she did disclose that he died on December 4th, 2022. He had a bleeding ulcer in the stomach. He was already told that there was no cure for him, and they were just waiting for him to die. The day that he died, the ambulance picked him up at 10 in the morning. But he was already dead since 2 in the morning on that day. So the terminated mom was not able to comprehend that he was already dead. And after a while, that's when she called the ambulance and they went to the house and they picked him up, and then he was already dead.
I'm very sorry to hear that, but thank you for that update. I know it had been an issue, his health had been an issue and discussed at the trial. So, so thank you for that update. All right, well then, I will see you all in July. And if there's nothing further, all parties are